Joining me today is light heavyweight contender Alexander Rakic, who takes on Thiago Santos at UFC 259. Alexander, how are you?
Hey, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How's everything in Vienna? What's the training situation like with COVID and everything? Are you able to access your gym the way you normally would, or are there restrictions and kind of having to downsize with training partners and stuff?
Yeah, COVID is a big part here in Austria. They closed everything. We are in lockdown since beginning of December, and everything is closed. But I'm able to train because I'm a pro athlete, and they are allowing me to train in gyms. So for me, is basically no changes. I'm training every day twice. I have my training partners, my coaches, and nothing changed really yet. So maybe it's gonna change, but I hope not. And if not, if they change, I'm gonna leave in 3 weeks for the real camp for my next fight. So, but I don't think they're gonna change anything in the next 3 weeks.
Okay, so are you saying you're going to leave regardless, or are you going to leave only if something changes?
No, I'm gonna leave anyways for camp. Uh, it's for me important to leave my comfort zone and to be somewhere else. Not seeing my family is a little bit hard, but it's a Spartan life, and that helps me to focus on the fight and focusing on Thiago. And yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna leave for camp.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna go to American Top Team in Zagreb. I did my last camp for Anthony Smith there. I had a hell of a camp, very hard 6 weeks. I have great sparring partners there, great facility. All of my coaches went there with me and spending 6 weeks with me there. So basically, was only training and sleeping and eating, nothing else.
Cool. And let's talk about that win over Anthony Smith. Obviously, a big one for you because you're coming off of that very close decision loss that I know you were very upset about. So, first of all, how good did it feel to get a pretty dominant performance like you did against Anthony to kind of remind everybody that you're a top contender in this division?
Yeah, I told everyone the most important thing is to dominate that fight and to dominate Anthony and to don't let him any chance. If it gonna come to the stand up or wrestling or grappling, to don't give him any chance. And this was the plan. Like I said, I had a hell of a camp. I was prepared for 5 rounds, and they asked me, "Do you want to do 5 rounds?" My team agreed, and me as well. But uh, it came from Anthony's side. He said, "No, I'm not gonna fight 5 rounds. I'm gonna do 3 rounds," because he had many 5 rounds fights. So I was ready for five, and uh, it felt very good. It felt really good to get this extra experience in that octagon to fight a former title contender. This is my second in a row now, and a big win against him. He put me right in the top five. I'm ranked number four, I guess, and now Thiago is the next in front of me, and yeah, I can't wait to put another dominant performance and finally another finish because I'm hungry for finishes.
Yeah, and before we talk about Thiago, I wanted to talk about that part because yeah, you came out with these explosive leg kicks. You really hurt him. You dropped him. I mean, credit to Anthony, he's a really tough guy. So I mean, I felt like you did everything you could there. He was kind of luring you into the ground game. I felt like he was comfortable off his back. Obviously, he had a hard time standing on that leg at some point. But you were comfortable on the ground. He is dangerous off his back. We saw it in his last fight when he submitted Devin Clark. So talk to me about that part of your game, getting to show your ground game.
Yeah, I heard a lot of interviews in the fight week from Anthony, and he called me like a one-dimensional fighter, that I'm only a striker, and my floppy head kicks against Jimmy Manu and everything else. And I'm a person, like, if you tell me something I cannot do, I'm gonna show you double that I can do. And for me, it was really important to put him on the ground and to smash him and to take his energy and to to grind, and I've been working of my wrestling and my grappling, like now, I mean, grappling for 10 years, wrestling 5 years really hard. I have a hell of a training camp, and I have one of the best coaches, and I'm focusing not only on striking. This is my base. I started as a striker, but now I feel everywhere comfortable, and I hear Anthony said, like, I'm gonna put him on the back, I'm gonna submit him, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. I told myself, not in this life, my man, not in this life.
Well, it was a fantastic performance, and you get another former title founder in Thiago Santos, who's lost 2 in a row. But I feel like it's not, if someone doesn't watch the sport and just looks at his record, I feel like it's not very reflective, right? Because he had that amazing fight against John Jones where he blew out both knees, and then the Glover fight, he starts out super strong, and then Glover, credit to him as well. I mean, he's super tough, and he turned the fight around. What did you think of his performance against Glover?
He did very well. You can see on that fight that he didn't fought for long. He didn't fought, I think 14 or 15 months. I mean, these 2 losses in a row mean nothing. Thiago is a dangerous guy. He fought Jones very well. He fought injured, and now he lost to Glover. He knocked Glover down. Glover came back, and he's dangerous. He's very dangerous. But you can see that the ring rust was there, and I was in the same situation. When I turned 21, I tore my ACL, and I did a surgery, and I was 18 months out of fighting and competing. And the first fight after the surgery was crazy for me. I was so nervous. I was so under stress, under pressure, because you don't know what's gonna happen. If someone attacking my knee, it's gonna be good or not, and you can see this, And I think in the next fight against me, Thiago gonna come even more motivated because he's hungry. He sees his chances, and he's training. I'm sure he's training hard, because I know Thiago. We was training in a American Top Team in Florida 2 years ago. He's a dangerous guy, but I'm now getting to my prime, and I tell you, Alexander Rakic in his prime, it's nobody gonna beat me. Nobody. I can swear to God, nobody gonna beat me.
You took me to my next question, because you did train at American Top Team. How often did you get to train with Thiago?
We did only 1 camp together. I've been in American Top Team 4 times. And 2018, I was preparing for Devin Clark, and he was preparing for Jimmy Manuwa. We fought on the same card, UFC 231 in Toronto. And yeah, I mean, I didn't spar with him MMA. We did some grappling and wrestling sparring. And yeah, I know him. He knows me. But I know what I can expect from him. I saw his training. I saw his sparring 2 years ago. But 2 years is a long time. Many things can change, and I'm a completely different fighter than 2 years ago. I don't know about him. We're gonna see 6th of March what he can bring to the table. But I expecting the best version of Thiago Santos, and yeah, I'm really, really fired up and can't wait to step into the octagon.
I would have loved to see this fight as a 5-round fight, but obviously it's not going to be. It's on the pay-per-view card, which is great too. I mean, it's always great to be on a pay-per-view card. But how do you see this fight playing out? Do you see it as a matter of him, because you're both very powerful, explosive strikers? So do you feel like it's going to be a patient waiting game from both of you, or do you feel like he's going to come out strong? How do you expect this fight to play out?
I don't know. If I'm watching Thiago's fights, and me and my team watching Thiago's fights, when we knew we're gonna fight him, we study him a lot, and sometimes he's waiting to counter, sometimes he's rushing forward. So I don't know what I can expect for him, but I'm gonna be ready for everything what he's bringing to the table, because this is the most important fight for me, because after this fight, I want that title shot. And like I said, he's dangerous. He has hard kicks, strong punches, wrestling and grappling as well. He's a BJJ black belt. I'm not going to underestimate his grappling and his wrestling. But I know him. I train with him, and when you see how the fight against Jimmy Manuwa went a couple of years ago, I had the same situation. I was training with Jimmy Manuwa before we fought, and I knew what I can expect. And then I fought him, and you saw the result. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do the same thing to Thiago, but I know Thiago. I know his training. I know his coaches. I know everything how it works in American Top Team, and I'm expecting the best version of Thiago.
When you look at light heavyweight, because obviously it's changed a little bit since I last spoke to you, which was before the Anthony Smith fight. Jan Blachowicz became champion. First of all, what did you think of his performance against Reyes, and were you surprised? Because a lot of people, I think the betting odds as well had Reyes favored.
Jan Blachowicz is a strong dude, and he's tough, you know. And I had one chance to fight one Polish guy in my career, and those guys from Poland are tough, you know. And all the credits to Jan Blachowicz. He did a very good fight against Dominic Reyes, and I can say, really, and I'm speaking for all European fighters, we here in Europe train different than in America. Our sparring here, not only my country, or I mean, I speaking to whole Europe countries, especially Poland. When we spar really hard. For me, is a sparring a fight, and sometimes in America, when I went there, I didn't have that feeling. And that's one reason why Jan beats Dominic, because he's tough. He's tough, and you can only beat a tough guy that you can show him that you are even tougher.
Interesting perspective. And Glover Teixeira is supposed to be the #1 contender. I mean, that's the way it seemed. But now Israel Adesanya is moving up, and he's getting the title shot. Could be on the same card as you. What are your thoughts on Israel moving up to light heavyweight? And do you feel like that kind of stalls the division a little bit, considering that you want the title shot should you beat Thiago?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna fight on the same card. Jan and Israel gonna be the main event on the same card, 6th of March, and yeah. It's sad because of Glover. Glover is an amazing fighter, and he beat, I think, 5 in a row. He has a 5 winning streak, and for me, he deserved a title shot. But the UFC decides what they want, and for the promotion and for the marketing, is, of course, it's Adesanya and Blachowicz. It's a better to sell for the people, and it's going to be very interesting to see Adesanya in the light heavyweight division, because we are. It's a lot of, you know, the weight class between middleweight and light heavyweight is huge. I mean, we have like 9 kilos, from 84 kilos and 93 kilos. This is 9 kilos in between, and those 9 kilos. You can feel the power, you know. The light heavyweight division, we are strong, but we are also fast. I don't want to say middleweights are not strong, but it's gonna be very interesting. And then we're gonna coming back to Jan Blachowicz, because he's a very tough guy and very strong guy. I see this fight 50-50. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting for me. And I'm gonna watch closely, first row, and to see who will be my next opponent in future.
In your opinion, is it a good thing or a bad thing if Adesanya becomes the light heavyweight champion for your division?
For me, it's a good thing. You know, if he becomes if he become a champion and he's a 2 division champion, then he's gonna need to face me, and that's not gonna be a good night for him. And all his legacy and all his credit's gonna come to me.
I like it. And on the other side, kind of the bracket, there's Dominic Reyes versus Yuri Prohaska. So I feel like it's kind of like a nice little tournament. We're seeing kind of new faces with you and Yuri in the division. Do you feel like with your fight, Thiago, any pressure at all to go and make a big statement so you can kind of cement yourself? Because this is a sport where timing is everything. We all thought Glover was for sure the #1 contender, and here we are with Adesanya deciding to move up. So it's a pretty crazy sport and a lot changes. So do you feel like, you know, with a statement win over here, that maybe you could potentially leapfrog everybody else?
Yes, absolutely. Yuri gonna fight Dominic 1 week before I'm fighting Santos, and I'm gonna watch this fight closely. And I'm a guy. If I see that fight, if I see a fight, a guy, future opponents, or I could fight both of those guys in the future, and if I see them fighting, and if they're doing well, and one of those make a crazy knockout or submission, you know, I challenge myself and I tell myself, hey, next week I need to top this, and I need to make a better performance to show the UFC, hey, I deserve the title, not him. And that's very good timing for me, because 1 week before they're gonna fight, and I'm gonna be fired up, and under pressure, I am the best. I mean, I put a lot of pressure on my shoulders, and a lot of people expecting from me that I'm gonna be the champion. And under pressure, I love pressure. And I can handle pressure, and that's gonna be the key of the victory. Pressure.
I love the confidence, and I love how you know kind of all the dates and the stats and stuff like that. You're getting me fired up for this fight. I appreciate your time. I want to ask you 2 questions before I let you go. 2 predictions, one for your fight and one that's not your fight. I want to start off with Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. It's a big fight that's kicking off 2021. How do you see that one playing out?
It's gonna be a different fight than the first one. Dustin improved his skills since the last fight, and Conor as well. And I think it's gonna be a longer fight than the last one. But I have a Conor McGregor 3rd round TKO. And my fight, I'm gonna be prepared for war, and I know Thiago gonna be as well prepared for war. And I want this title shot, and I want this belt so bad. And I made a promise for one friend of mine. I lost a couple days, and I promised to his family I'm gonna win against Thiago, and I'm gonna get the title shot. And this motivates me a lot. And I cannot predict how I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be prepared for 3 rounds war, but I'm working on all of my skills, on my striking, on my grappling, on my wrestling. I will be able to knock him out, to submit him, or to grind him to death. We're gonna see. We're gonna figure out 6th of March what's gonna happen.
Alexander, I'm sorry for your loss, and I really appreciate you taking the time. Great stuff from you, and I'm very much looking forward to the fight. I was anyway, but I'm that much more pumped up after speaking to you. So I appreciate you taking the time, and best of luck on March 6th.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All the best for you, and Happy New Year. I wish you.
You too. Happy New Year. Thank you so much.